It is late. The house is quiet. You are alone. And then, something moves on the wall. You didn't see it arrive. It was simply there. Before you decide anything, your body has already reacted. Your heart kicks. Your breath catches. You go still. It is smaller than a coin. It has no interest in you. And still, some ancient part of you screams one word: danger. Why? Why this creature? Why this reaction? You are not afraid of things far more likely to harm you. Cars, stairs, electricity, they kill millions. You shrug. But a harmless house spider? Your whole body revolts. This makes no logical sense. Until you look backward. Backward, not years, not centuries, but hundreds of thousands of years. To a time when this fear was not a flaw, but the reason your ancestors lived long enough to have you. Welcome to Cave Logic. Today we hunt the oldest fear hidden inside your mind. The fear of the eight-legged shadow. By the end, you'll understand something strange. That fear in your chest is older than language, older than fire, older than the first spoken word. It was written into you before you were ever you. So let's go back. Far, far back. Back before cities, before farms, before safety. Back to when survival was a full-time job, and when noticing the wrong small thing could end everything. This is the story your body never forgot. Imagine a world with no walls to protect you. No doors to lock. No lights to switch on. No hospital. No medicine. No emergency number to call. For nearly all of human history, this was normal life. Your ancestors slept on the ground, in caves, under open sky, and they shared that ground with everything else that lived there. Insects, scorpions, snakes, and spiders. These weren't background creatures. They were neighbors. They crawled into bedding, into clothing, into shadows. A hand reaching blindly could find fangs. There were no warnings, no labels, no safe and unsafe aisles. You learned by living, or you didn't live to learn. And the stakes of a single mistake were absolute. In this world, your senses were your only technology. Eyes to catch movement, ears to catch sound, skin to feel the faintest touch of legs. Your brain ran one program above all others. Stay alive long enough to pass yourself on. Everything else was optional. Survival was not. And survival meant reading danger faster than danger read you. The slow to fear did not get many second chances. The quick to fear startled, ran, survived, and had children. Over thousands of generations, this did something to us. It didn't just teach fear, it bred it into the design. The fearful ones became us. So when you jump at a spider today, you are not being irrational. You are running software that kept your family alive. But why spiders, specifically? Why not everything small? To answer that, we have to talk about death. The kind that came quietly, on 8 silent legs. Not every spider is dangerous. In truth, very few are. But very few is not the same as none. And your ancestors could not tell which was which. To an untrained eye, a deadly spider looks like a harmless one. Same shape, same legs, same sudden movement. Now imagine the cost of guessing wrong. A single bite from the wrong one could bring fever, swelling, tissue death, sometimes death itself. There was no antivenom, no doctor, no rescue, just you, your body, and whatever was already inside the bite. So evolution faced a brutal design question. How careful should a creature be around spiders? To understand the answer, meet the smoke detector in your head. A smoke detector has 2 ways it can be wrong. 1, it screams when there is no fire. Annoying. 2, it stays silent when the house is burning. Only one of these mistakes kills you. So a good detector is deliberately oversensitive. It would rather cry wolf 1,000 times than stay silent the one time it truly matters. Your fear of spiders is that smoke detector. It fires at harmless spiders constantly, on purpose. Because the ancestors who underreacted are not here. They took the calm bet. Sometimes the calm bet lost. The ones who flinched at everything survived to flinch again. And they passed that jumpiness down the line. To you. This is why your fear feels too big for the threat. The size of the fear isn't measuring today's spider. It's measuring 10,000 years of dead ancestors. Your body is being cautious with someone else's data. But how does that data actually get inside you? How does a fear survive when the fearful die? The answer is one of biology's most elegant tricks. Evolution didn't hand you the fear fully formed. It handed you something cleverer. A head start. A brain pre-tuned to learn one lesson terrifyingly fast. That is where our story turns. To the programming itself. Here's a question that puzzled scientists for decades. Are we born afraid of spiders, or do we learn it? The honest answer is stranger than either. Babies are not born screaming at spiders. A tiny child will happily reach for one. So it can't be a fully built-in, automatic terror. But watch what happens when we test the brain closely. Researchers showed infant spiders, and something quiet happened. Their bodies stirred. Stress signals rose, before any teaching. The fear wasn't there yet, but the readiness was. Scientists call this prepared learning. You are not born afraid. You are born easy to teach. One bad moment, and the lesson locks in for life. Compare that to fears we should have, but don't. Electricity kills more people than every spider on Earth. Yet almost no child instinctively fears a wall socket. Why? Because outlets are far too new. Evolution never had time to write a warning for them. But spiders? Spiders have hunted alongside us forever. Long enough for the warning to be pre-installed. There is a famous experiment that proves the principle. Young monkeys raised in labs showed no fear of snakes. They had simply never learned there was anything to fear. Then they watched another monkey react with terror. And instantly, the first monkey caught the fear too. One glimpse of another's terror. Lifelong fear installed. But here's the twist that reveals the hidden design. Researchers tried to teach that same fear of flowers. They showed monkeys reacting in terror to a flower. And the fear refused to stick. The brain accepted spider and snake effortlessly, but rejected flower almost completely. Your brain is not a blank page waiting for any fear. It is a page with certain fears already lightly sketched. Life just traces over the lines that were already there. Spiders, snakes, heights, deep water, the dark, the ancient enemies, the ones that thinned the herd. Their deaths became your instincts. You inherited a museum of everything that ever killed your kind. And the spider has its own quiet, permanent exhibit. So the fear is half born, half taught, and fully ready. But readiness alone is slow. Fear must be fast. And that speed lives in a place deep beneath your thoughts. A place that decides you're in danger before you even know why. Meet the oldest guardian in your head. Scientists call it the amygdala. Two small almond-shaped clusters deep in your brain. It is ancient, older than reason, older than words. Its only job is to ask one question, constantly. Is this a threat? Yes or no? And it answers faster than your conscious mind can blink. Here is the part that feels almost impossible. When you see a spider, your eyes send the image two ways. One road is slow. It goes to the thinking brain. That road identifies, considers, reasons. Ah, a spider. But the other road is a shortcut, brutally fast. It skips thinking entirely and hits the alarm first. This is why you jump before you decide to be afraid. Your body is reacting to a threat your mind hasn't confirmed. A curled hose? A crack in the floor? A shadow? Your alarm fires first and asks questions later. And in the wild, that half-second head start was everything. Half a second earlier could mean a lifetime longer. The slow, careful thinker was often the eaten thinker. So evolution wired the alarm to overrule the thinker. You cannot simply decide not to be startled. The alarm doesn't wait for permission from you. That's why willpower alone rarely cures a phobia. You're not arguing with a thought. You're arguing with an alarm. But an alarm this powerful comes with a cost. Sometimes it fires when there is truly nothing there. A speck of dust, a tickle of hair, a trick of the eye. For most, that's a brief, harmless jolt of adrenaline. But for some, the alarm never fully switches off. The fear grows louder than the life around it. That is where a healthy instinct becomes a phobia. So is this fear a life sentence? Are we stuck with it? Before we free ourselves, one more mystery remains. If this fear is so ancient and universal, then why do some people feel the exact opposite? For every person who screams, there is another who leans in. Some people keep spiders as pets, willingly. Some spend their whole lives studying them. If the fear is universal, how can this be? Remember, you inherit readiness, not the finished fear. Whether it locks in depends on your life. A child who meets spiders calmly may never fill the slot. The readiness stays sketched, but never traced over. Curiosity can grow in the exact place fear would have. The same ancient alarm can be re-aimed. To a spider expert, that jolt becomes excitement. Same racing heart. Completely different meaning. Culture shapes it too. In some places, spiders are food. In others, symbols of luck, patience, or creation. The spider didn't change. The story around it did. Which means your fear is not the whole truth of you. It's an ancient suggestion, not an unbreakable command. And a suggestion can be answered differently. Koro learned this the hard way, and the curious way. If fear can be installed by life, then maybe it can be uninstalled by life too. That question isn't just hopeful, it's scientific. For most of history, a phobia felt permanent, a life sentence written by ancestors you never met. But the brain has a secret the alarm doesn't advertise. It can rewire. It can learn new endings to old stories. Scientists call this neuroplasticity. Your brain is not carved in stone, it's more like clay. And the tool that reshapes it is almost absurdly simple. Not avoidance, the opposite. Gentle, repeated exposure. Every time you avoid the fear, you feed it. Avoidance whispers, "See? It really was dangerous." So the alarm stays convinced it was right to scream. Exposure flips the script, one tiny step at a time. First, just a picture of a spider. Just looking. The alarm blares. You stay. Nothing bad happens. And the brain quietly notes, maybe I was wrong. Then a spider across the room. You breathe, you remain. Each step, the alarm learns a new truth. Safe. Not by force, by evidence. Gathered gently, again and again. Remarkably, some people ease a lifelong fear in a single session. The ancient alarm doesn't vanish. It learns to trust you. The spider on the wall becomes just a spider on the wall. You don't erase your history. You add a new chapter. The cave is still in you. But now, so is the choice. And that changes what this fear even means. So the next time a spider freezes you in place, try, for a second, not to feel ashamed of it. That reaction is not weakness. It is inheritance. It is a message from someone who lived long ago. An ancestor who flinched at a shadow and survived. Every jump of your heart is a hand reaching across time, whispering the same warning that once saved a life. You are the unbroken end of that chain. Every one of your ancestors was afraid enough to live. Not one of them broke the line. Not once. And now that ancient alarm lives inside you. Older than fire. Older than words. Still watching. Not your enemy. Your oldest, most loyal guardian. So respect the fear. Understand it. And when you're ready, gently teach it that the cave is finally safe. You carry the ancient mind, but you also carry the choice. That is the logic of the cave. If this ancient mind fascinates you as much as it does us, follow the channel and keep exploring the instincts that made us. Because the ancient mind has many more secrets to tell, and every one of them is still living inside you. This was Cave Logic. Until next time, stay curious.